Thanks for being patient with me as I was having some technical issues here. Half my emails didn't go out, half my Facebook posts didn't post. I don't know what's going on. It's monsters. So thank you for joining me today to talk about our monsters. I've been pondering this topic for quite some time, and it just felt like the right time to talk about it. So I'm going to do a little introduction today to talk about those monsters we have lurking in our lives. And I'm going to do a couple of follow-up chats with you about that as we dive a little deeper over the next few days. So I'm excited to share that with you. Let me start. I made notes because you know how I like to get off topic. And we may have more people joining in here, so come on in. What is a monster? Okay, my opinion in this, for what I'm talking about, a monster is anything that feels too overwhelming, painful, or frightening to face. But it only holds power because it remains in your life, unacknowledged and unchallenged. Like you just haven't dealt with it, therefore it is a monster. And it's ruling your life or ruining your life or whatever, only because you just haven't dealt with it. Now, in addition, a monster is something that you're afraid to tackle or afraid to deal with. It might be someone in your life that's very toxic. I got something in my eye there. Very toxic. And you just don't know how to handle the relationship with them, but you still have to have a relationship with them. Maybe it's a spouse and you have children together, or they're no longer your spouse, but you have children together. Maybe it's a loved one that you care for, like you're their caregiver, and you have to maintain that because they need you. You can't just cut them out of your life, but they're very toxic and hard for you to deal with. Or a coworker, and you can't just leave your job. Maybe it's demons from your childhood, or how you were raised, or things that you went through that you just haven't dealt with yet. And they have created programs and processes and patterns in your life that haunt you, so to speak. There's those monsters hanging out there, and you just, you haven't dealt with them because it's just too hard. Maybe it's how you were treated by your peers, or maybe it's colleagues, or from the past or now. Just how you were treated by someone or a group of people or people throughout the years. And while they feel like monsters to you, that these experiences feel monstrous, you just aren't you haven't taken the opportunity to deal with them. You don't have the courage. It's anything that you need to do some work on to clear up, clean up, heal from, so that you can move on to the next place. That's a monster. We've all got them. We all deal with them on a regular basis. Our monsters keep us stuck, and we're not where we want to be because we like it. Like, we're not in a situation because we like it. Oh, like, this is the greatest, and I'm so glad I have this monster in my life. But it's because we feel safe there, because even though we can imagine what it might be like without this monster in our life, whatever it be, it's unfamiliar. It's just too scary to move from the monster we know out into the unknown, where maybe there's a bigger, more powerful monster that we don't even know about yet. And it's just too scary to move on from that monster to a different spot, because it's the known. It's going into the unknown that's scary. Every time I think of that, I do kind of think of Frozen, but my kids used to read this book called Scaredy Squirrel. And, he wouldn't leave his little tree house because it was the unknown. And one day he jumped, he fell out, and then every day he created this habit where he jumped out into the unknown. And so it's like the unknown, it's scary. What if there's a bigger monster, right? In energy work, what we do is we remove the emotional ding from an experience. So if you've worked with me before, we go in and we just clear up the energy around something. So you've had a bad experience, you fell and broke your leg and it was very traumatic. We can go in and remove that emotional ding, the trauma that has you stuck. I can't go and change the fact that you broke your leg. If you had a broken leg, you had a broken leg. We're not going back in time and changing that, but we're removing that emotional perspective or that emotional hindrance that maybe I got, I fell off my bike, so now I can never ride my bike again because I broke my leg. We're going to remove that stigma there that you've created in your brain that says, oh, I can't ride a bike. I'll fall and break my leg. To remove that emotional attachment there so that you have the courage to go and ride a bike again. And more than likely, after we remove that, when you go and ride a bike, you're not going to be afraid that you're going to break your leg. It's not going to be, that fear is going to be neutralized through energy work. That's what we do. Same thing here, right? We're working to neutralize that monster fear. Whatever it is that about that monster that has you living in trauma, turmoil, stress, holding you back, through dealing with the monsters, we're going to eliminate that, neutralize it, so you can move on to the next step. I want to talk to you a little bit about, I created this great acronym for monster, the MONSTR. M is the mask. It's what you hide behind, what you're hiding. O is the obstacle, the walls you've built up to keep you safe. I've got my one monster. He's here in my fortress. We're okay. I know how to handle him. The narrative, the story you tell yourself about the monster, right? So MONS, shadow. The monster, this is the part that has you feeling exiled. You're a shadow of yourself because you can't be yourself with that monster in your life. T, the trigger. What triggers does this monster trigger in you? How does this monster trigger you? E, exposure. The monster is strongest when he's held captive in the dark, in his space. Let's expose him. And R, reflection. The monster is a mirror showing you what still needs healing. Yeah, kind of exciting, right? Over the next couple of days, we are going to dive into those, and we're going to talk a little bit more about each one of these things and how you can start neutralizing that monster and turning him into like a cute, cuddly little puppy instead of a monster in your life, whatever it is, right? So like we said, it could be someone, you might be married to a monster. You might have a child or a parent who is a monster. You might have a coworker, or you might have a belief system or a program running that is a monster in your life. And we're going to neutralize that to even out the playing field so you can take it to the next step. You don't have to stay stuck behind that wall. I'm so excited to do this with you. So join me over the next couple days. I will be putting this into our classroom settings, so you can go in and view it anytime. So if you can't catch the live session whenever I happen to be able to do it, you can always go back and join into that. So you can click into your classes. If you have any classes with me, I'm just going to bring everyone in and give you access to it. If you don't already have classes with me, you can just sign up with your email address, and then it puts you in there to get it. So I'll go ahead and put the link on Facebook so you can grab that. If you're on my email list, you're just going to get notification that the first one's there, and you can go back and watch any of them, and you'll get emails to let you know when our next one will be. So let's work on neutralizing those monsters in our life. I am so excited about this topic and sharing it with you, and I hope you will enjoy me on this monster hunt. All right, see you later.